Well, I've been involved in technology-related care for about more than 20 years in my professional capacity within social work, so it was obviously a natural fit to my own career pattern, but I think what particularly caught me about this, and I was involved in previous development areas such as telecare, which tended to be narrower down a particular social care path. I was quite enthused by the fact this was had a wider reach. It was a more lateral reach. It included not just the telecare side, but the telehealth, the video conferencing, home health monitoring. So it's a lateral reach, and it seemed to fit right, given that we're now in an organisation of integration between health and social care and other partners. So I think that was probably the main driver for me. It seemed to be the right time and the right opportunity.
Similar to Michael, I've been involved in telecare for quite a number of years in my previous job. That was kind of my main remit and responsibility. So like Michael, when we saw this opportunity coming along, we just saw that as an opportunity to be able to, expand what we currently have as well into other areas, alongside working with our health colleagues, but also be able to expand into areas where we can use technology a bit more imaginatively and inventively, and this was providing a platform and an opportunity to do that.
And I think I would add to what Sandra said there. In Glasgow, I think there's certain groups are maybe being not well served by technology, but the technology-enabled care programme allowed us to work in partnership with others to reach those people, particularly people with dementia, and it's allowed us the development funding around that and the support from the Joint Improvement Team and our own colleagues within the partnership and beyond that to allow us an opportunity to have a bit more of a bespoke approach to supporting people who aren't normally, in my experience, well served by technology. Well, we applied across all the different work streams. We were successful in two of them. One was the digital platform project, which we're working on a hub and cluster project, a housing-based one within the southwest of Glasgow, and we're also working on using digital technology, particularly through tablets, to support people who have got dementia, and that could be based in the community or in a care home in various settings. I think the main body of our project, though, in terms of funding, has been for telecare and the expansion of telecare. We've set ourselves a very challenging target of 1,200 more telecare users. And we're on the way. I mean, I think we've probably a wee bit frustrated by the early setup arrangements which you have to go through sometimes. However, I think we're focusing on certain particular groups who have been perhaps underserved up until now, and I think we're confident we may not reach that target by April, but we'll certainly be reaching it within a few months after that. So they're the kind of the broad thrust we've got, but we've also, as I mentioned in the previous question, we're also looking at supporting people with dementia, and we're expanding our use of GPS technology to support people not only just to keep safe within the home, but also out with the home. And we've joined in various partnerships with our own community safety service as a control room platform to assist us to identify people who might have gone beyond the normal boundaries which they occupy. To support that also, we've developed two localised responder services which are respond to these activations by people who've got probably more complex needs than we would normally have in our mainstream telecare, which is served very well by Cordia. However, we've realised there's probably a gap in our provision there, and we need quicker responses and we need more intensive responses. So that started, and these services were commissioned over the past 2 months, and they're now up and running with a number of service users, and I think we're very enthusiastic. I mean, I'll let Sandra talk a bit more about that. We're enthusiastic about the progress that's been made so far in the development of those services.
Yeah, as Michael said, we only really started it properly last October, November, but we're now roughly responding to roughly about maybe just short of 20 people so far, and demand continues to increase as people see that a lot of times when people need certain types of telecare, it requires a certain response, and if you don't have a close family member, or you don't have a carer, or you don't have somebody who's able to do that, then it excludes you for that type of device, that might assist you to stay in your home a bit longer. So that's been really useful. It's also been useful in supporting people who are basically maybe a bit at the end of their tether in terms of caring for somebody, because they might work full time during the day and they're getting called out 4 or 5 times a night, and they can't sustain the two. So it's been helpful for them to maybe use the responder services away, facilitating a bit of a break, from the situation. But alongside that, we're looking at tying that in with electronic-based assessments, like you're just checking, where we can try and establish people's patterns and needs more accurately. So that's proven to be fairly popular, in the recent months.
Just to conclude, that there is a wider strategy for Glasgow. Traditionally, we have used institutional care proportionally much more than other authorities, and we're trying to shift that balance. And what we're trying to do with these new services, like the responder services and use of technology, is build up a community-based infrastructure which has got trust within service users, carers, our own colleagues in health and social care and other partners, so that they can see a viable alternative than admitting people to care. So it may delay, it may not avoid it, but it may delay it and give people an opportunity, which we believe is a preference, is to stay in their own home.
For me, I think it's just been the ability, for us to be able to do these developments where we've been a bit constrained roughly in the past. So it's been really quite exciting, especially to work alongside other agencies like the Community Safety, who, together, the two of us, we've got the same common aim as about safety and keeping people safe, and it's been good to just develop that partnership between the two, and with our other colleagues in health. So given that not having the opportunity, the tech funding, we probably wouldn't have these relationships.
I mean, I would add particularly the partnership element to that. I mentioned earlier on how we were involved in the previous development fund for telecare, which was quite a narrow, certainly in my authority, Sandra worked in another authority at the time, tended to be a narrow kind of social work based, service delivery based one, but this has been very much underwritten by partnership, and that can bring its challenges because we're not always of the same view, but in a way that helps the integration agenda, because you have to work through these problems, and you're actually, when you make a change in one area, it'll have an effect in the other, because we're all interrelated now. And I think there's certainly a greater spirit and motivation towards partnership working, even just due to the financial realities, but also the fact that we're reconstructing to become closer working and interrelated. We can't operate in silos on our own anymore, so therefore it's very important to have that partnership working. And I think overall there's been some ups and downs, but overall I think it's got to be the approach we take, and I think it's even helped the general integration agenda as well.
I don't think tech should ever be seen as a replacement for care or a replacement for that human element of people, but it can enhance that. And also sometimes I think people don't see the potential, and how it can enhance somebody's life and help them maintain their independence. And we've already had examples where, just even by the use of GPS technology, it actually kept this individual in their own home for 7 months longer than what she normally at that point would have been getting into care. And I don't think you can buy that, because it's, that's a quality of life for that individual, and it's also giving families and carers peace of mind, that they can go about their day-to-day business and still have their families supported. And
I think there's an extra layer to that, because families often have been concerned, over anxious perhaps, about their loved ones, and therefore it's changed their relationship with their own their elderly mother or father. This has allowed them to free them up to be able to maintain their relationship, a normal relationship, without having this anxiety over care, when tech is able to get help for people when they need it, and it's discreet, and it allows independence for people to make their own choices about their lifestyle more than they would if they'd gone into institutional care, or they were overloaded with services which they may not need or ask for. Probably, as usual, I'd say more than one, but I would say, find out about it, find out what it can do and how it can actually help people's outcomes on a number of different levels, for citizens, for carers, for workers, assessors. Find out what it can do. You can see what the impact this will have, and tell everyone about it, because one of the things we found in our own experience is that once people get it, once people see it, once people see the impact it has, as Sandra was talking about, on people's lives, it's not quite like an evangelical thing, but you do feel you want to share that with other people, to tell them, look, this isn't about replacing care. This is about getting care at the right time, for the right reasons, and it's a compliment, and it lets people lets them have their life back.
If I could just add, we've been doing a lot of work around workforce development, and we've been running a number of awareness sessions, and I think we've reached near enough 400 people in the last 6 or 7 months, and that's been a revelation, because it's those people that you say they don't know enough about it. People are busy firefighting every day with their cases and that, and it's not until somebody hits a crisis point that maybe some of this is considered. So it's allowed people that time to reflect and think about the technology and actually be educated in a way how you can use it, which they didn't realise before. So like Michael said, I would encourage people to go along to any kind of session or anything that's local in your area, or whatever that you can get or get organised for, and find out for yourself, just what the benefits of it are.
Sandra and the team have got a great gift of unfolding people's arms, because at the beginning there's a kind of the kind of resistance and the hard stares and going, you need to impress me. At the end, they're engaging with it. They're looking at their own practice and saying, well, maybe this will work here. So I think it's something people I think previously there was a resistance because it was associated with savings, but now I think people are beyond that, but they just want information. They need information about what value it can bring and what assistance it can bring, and it can actually make you a bit more creative about how you go about assessing people's care as well, and giving them the choices for what they want to do and how they want to lead their lives.
Well, for it to continue for as long as it possibly can, but also for us to be able to achieve what it is, our objectives of what it is that we set out to achieve, with the tech programme. And hopefully in the future we've not got such a need for programmes as such. It's just something that's embedded into everyday life as it's integrated across social and healthcare.
I mean, I would echo that. I think the mainstreaming is an elusive one, because we've been involved in the technology side for a long time, and while we make progress, there's still kind of blockages here, still silos where people aren't aware of what's happening, what it can do. But I mean, I suppose from my point of view, there's one kind of area I would like to see a better outcome, is that people are excluded digitally across different areas of our city. Haven't got access to broadband, Wi-Fi or telephone landlines, which is sometimes the platform which people need to actually operate the technology. So my ambition probably goes beyond that, saying, can we do something about the infrastructure to assist people so that everyone gets equal access to this, and it's not a financial blockage for people because they can't afford a telephone landline, or there doesn't happen to be any broadband or Wi-Fi in the area. We want everyone to have the opportunity, not just of where they stay, but to have that access to that kind of support.